So I think this time around I'm just gonna do like a half hour because it is like 1:42 in the morning and I have my last day of school tomorrow, which means I have a final in the morning that I did not study for, and I'm kind of just avoiding studying now. I am tired. I think last I left off I already did this, but I guess I didn't save or something. We'll find out in a second. Yeah. Well, actually... Yeah. Okay, yeah, it should be fine. Let's see, so... tomorrow or later today being... Wednesday is my last day of class. Last semester for my last day of class, I just showed up to all my classes, and I was there from morning till night too, just like this semester. But I just showed up to all my classes, picked up everything I needed, and then in between those classes I just went to sleep in my car. But this semester my boyfriend has a new job, one in which he doesn't have a company vehicle to drive around in, so he has to take the car, which is fine. But now I gotta like find a place to hang out in between classes, which means I will probably be taking my art board so I can just hang around the art building and work on these two pieces that I've just had sitting on my artboard for the last month. I do believe I already mentioned that I wanted to do a video based on everything that I did this semester. So maybe I'll get to doing that like next week or so, because if I can finish these are not going to get finished anytime soon. They'll probably get finished in like a month, so maybe in a month. But either way, I just love doing that. Either way, that's something I want to work on. I think I also mentioned that I had another tattoo idea and a tattoo commission that I needed to finish, which is, I guess, will be my first priority once I'm actually out. I've taken 4 classes this semester, so I was a full-time student. 3 of them were studio art classes, which means I had to put in, which means the classes were really long, and which means that was a lot of hours inputted. Except for one, one I was there for the entire period of the class, but I didn't go in for any extra time, which is fine with me, but it might affect my grade, especially considering I didn't turn in the first project and we only had 3 projects. Oops. But I'm happy with the last thing with that we turned in with, which was a ring. I think I had a pretty neat concept, and it's very simple, and I think it still pretty much met the requirement. And I like the way it looks, so when I get that back, I will definitely be sure that that's in the video that I'll be making. I'm trying to see if there's like anything I missed, but anyways. I feel like I've gotten the controls a little better. So tired. So for like my actual academic class, it's a history class. And for every test, which is like 3 tests. No, it's 2 tests plus whatever, plus my finals, which is tomorrow. So I've taken 2 tests and then tomorrow's final will be it. But for the first 2 tests, I like debated not going to them because I was positive that I was just gonna make a fool of myself and fail it because I didn't know anything. And I mean, I wasn't exactly wrong because I really didn't know anything. I'm trying to get to the orcas. But I still passed those with a D, so it wasn't like terrible, I guess. No. There we go. But this one, I mean, those at least I had like the day before to study, so I had some idea of what was going on, but not this time, because I was gonna spend today doing that, but I had to take my sister to school in the morning. Which means I got up earlier than I usually do. Ooh, that's fun. Which means I got up earlier than I usually do. And I took her to school, but I came home and I was still tired and I was wanting to sleep for like just 1 hour so I still had time to get up. But I ended up falling asleep for 2 hours, and then I woke up, and then I was like, oh shit, I should get up, and then I fell asleep for another 2 hours, so I got up at 12. I got up at 12 in the morning. 12 noon, sorry, not morning. Anyways. It wasn't... So yeah, I got up really late and I got tired and I'm a bad procrastinator as it is. And then I was like, well, I gotta eat, and I was like, well, I gotta watch something while I eat. So I was catching up on Supernatural while I was eating like peanut butter sandwiches. So I didn't do much studying like I wanted to do, and then I had to go pick up my boyfriend from work because I had to borrow the car to take my sister to school, and I picked him up, but he didn't get out till 4:30, so it was just getting later and later, and I had to go to my sister's musical performance, because she's part of a singing group with her high school and it's her senior year, so which means she's leaving soon, but this was her last performance with her group. So, and because of my class schedule this semester, I didn't get to go to any of her performances. I went to one performance because it just so happened to be on a day where I didn't have school finally, because usually her performances were on days where I had class, and every day that I had class from morning till night, which means I couldn't do anything, which means I basically couldn't do anything on those days. Yeah, so I got to see her perform twice. And I just cried this time because I love that kid so much, and she is such a beautiful singer, and she absolutely loves singing. She just loves singing. And it's just, I think one thing that I've always enjoyed is just seeing people be so extremely happy. Ooh, that looks kind of scary. Be so extremely happy over things. Like, it moves me to tears. And my sister loves singing so much, and I just absolutely adore her. So whenever she's singing, I just get so happy. And during the first song, I was just bawling my eyes out. This is interesting. Yeah, so that's where I was for like 2 hours tonight, and then we finally got home, and then I was already exhausted. And again, like all I had during the day were like peanut butter sandwiches. Not even a lot. I only had like 2, so I was pretty hungry. So I was pretty hungry. So I went to McDonald's, and I spent like the next hour just lying down, watching YouTube, eating my food, and then I tried studying for a little bit, but my studying means that I put something on in the background. In this case, it was artists that I follow on YouTube, speed painting and talking, because I find that stuff really relaxes me. But because I was already like dead tired, I was not doing a really good job of studying. And then I realized that it was like past 1 a.m. and then I was like, well, I wanted to play a game, and I want to relax, and I want to feel good about myself before I head off to class in the morning to completely fail my final. So that's why I'm here. But I don't want to stay up too late, so that's why I'm only doing this for a half hour. And I know my voice sounds really raspy right now. Oh my goodness, it's really just because I'm so tired. I was able to download the first episode of Life is Strange, which, by the way, I did not realize it was an episode type thing, which is fine, but now I'm just worried that, you know, I won't be able to continue playing consistently, because I don't really have a job. I just go to school full time, which means I don't have money. Like, the only time I make money is when I'm doing commissions, and I don't get a lot of commissions, and I work very slowly because I deal with my own like mental health, and being a full-time student means there's a lot that's required of me that I need to do for school, whether it's regarding art or a general ed class. And usually I end up getting very overwhelmed, and I kind of just need to lie down all day sometimes. Oh, my little friend disappeared. Okay. Yeah, so that's why I usually get backed up on stuff and commissions sometimes, and why I'm probably not going to charge my friend who commissioned this last thing for me, because he asked for a good while ago. Like, if I wait a few months, it'll have been a whole year. Oh my god! Sorry, it's just so exciting. Ooh, ooh, I would be so... Oh my god, it squeaked. I would be ecstatic if we met beluga whales in this, because I absolutely adore belugas. I would say hippos, but hippos aren't. I think they're more freshwater or lakes and pond type animals, not not ocean life. But I absolutely adore hippos. I've actually always loved hippos. I've just always been in love with hippos. Like it was like a not like it was a secret, but it wasn't something that I discussed. It was just like something that I just always loved. I don't know what it is. I think it was something about their mouths that just mesmerized me. I just absolutely like it was almost every time they opened their mouth, it's like they were yawning, and it was like mesmerizing how wide they were, and it was just interesting to me, I think, as a child, and I think I just still love that, or it just kind of stuck with me after all this time. Let's see. Hey. Oh shit, okay, my back is hurting from the way I'm sitting. I'm like leaning forward, and it's awful. It's so awful for your back. Good posture is key to a happier life, because if your back's always hurting, you're gonna be sad all the time. Just like me. Haha. Bad joke, but not joking either. It's just awful. I'm always in pain. I have bad posture. I have aches everywhere, like out of nowhere sometimes. One time, I remember I was in the computer lab at school, and I got up and I was leaving, and my shin felt like I had just jammed it into something. So I was in a lot of pain, and every step that I took was like almost excruciating. So I hobbled as quickly as I could to find a place to sit down until my class started. Because it was just terrible. But yeah, that's basically me. 80% of the time I'm just in pain from something. Yeah. Like whether it's mostly, okay, it's like I would say 40, like my life consists of 40% physical pain, yeah, 40% physical pain, 50% some sort of mental anguish, and then the last 10% is me just trying to live my life and, you know, not be in any sort of discomfort. I've completely lost myself. Okay. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun being me. Wouldn't wish it on anyone else, though. Let's see. Okay. Ah, my back. Sit up, sit up. Anyways, since it has been a while since I've actually done any sort of stream aside from when I did this first stream, I'll say again, one of my reasons for doing this is because, I think it's good for me to kind of learn how to just talk, just talk in general, tell stories or something. Plus, I think for me, just on a personal note, I think it's good that I find a different outlet. I think everyone should do that. I think that's just good for everyone. And this is my attempt, aside from doing cruddy little vlogs that I'm kind of just leaving on private so no one can see them anyways, but it feels good for me to be able to look back on and know that this was how I was feeling at some point, this is what was going on, rather than just everything or anything else that makes no sense, rather than just like on personal blogs or on my personal blog where I just complain in more detail. But I mean, here at least I'm learning to kind of filter, and it might help me in real life. This is a really bad broadcast, but it's okay, because if I don't scare anyone away with my talking, then they can at least stay to watch the actual nice looking game. I do believe I've now looked at everything here except for the surface of the water. Oh, no. Okay, that's kind of obvious, and that's my own fault for missing it. This also needs to be active, so let's follow it. I noticed I had a few people come and go, and I'm just like, oops, sorry if you did not like my commentary. Okay, this should do it now. Actually, what I want to do is I want to try to get a job at the nature center here where I live because I love that place so much. Like I went like 5 times last year. A few times for school and then the rest on my own because I just really love that place. I love just walking through on the trails in the nature and all that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I find it very relaxing for me personally, and I very much enjoy it. And I actually sent in 2 applications to work there last year. And the first time, I guess they looked at it and they called me back and they said, hey, like, do you have any volunteer experience? And technically I did, but it was from like middle school and I didn't have the information on me, so I did not, I didn't write it in, and I definitely don't believe I got back to them in time for them to care. So I just went in with the information the next time I went, and I just wrote in, gave in a new application with that information. But I didn't get a call back that time. So my plan was to go in every month, drop off a new application, and, you know, call them once a month or so to see if they were hiring or, you know, stuff like that. Because I feel like working in a place where I just find it very calming and soothing would be good for me. Because it's not like I haven't tried applying to other places that would probably be a little more demanding, but I've never been hired, and I've gotten callbacks, and I've gone in for second interviews, and still they did not hire me. So it's a little discouraging, so I usually take a few months off looking for a job, because usually by then I'm back in school anyways, and I'm a full-time student again, which means my schedule is full. And I'm at a point right now where I don't see a therapist or anything like that. I'm not on medication that I believe I should be on, because I feel like it would help me a lot with concentration or what is it, you know, the unbearable feeling of just having, like, of your body just not being able to physically move, and, you know, help balance out my head so I can deal with things better, because I've gone my whole life with just treating myself and taking care of myself and getting myself through everything, which I think I've done a pretty good job considering I'm still here and I haven't gone completely crazy. Oh no. That gave me chills. Cats are making noise. But, like, it's getting to a point where I feel like some sort of, you know, professional opinion and actually getting diagnosed with whatever it is I could possibly have, which I'm pretty sure is at the very least depression and anxiety, because both run heavily in my family. Both run pretty heavy on both sides of my family, actually, both my mom's and my dad's side. So I think you know, I don't think I'm crazy, and I think my feelings are very valid to, you know, say that I think I've kind of done taking care of myself, because it gets harder and harder every time. And I tried therapy to the extent of I went to like the interview process or whatever, where like the therapist kind of assess what kind of help you might need and stuff. Last November, and you know, I left kind of like, okay, I can do this is fine. And she even set up an appointment with a psychologist so that I could ask for medication. But by the time my next appointments had arrived, I couldn't go to them because they happened to be on the days that I had to go with my boyfriend to the doctor, because he had a really bad pain in his stomach, and I had to cancel and reschedule each appointment, and I just was never able to go back. And a few months ago, I got something in the mail from the therapist that I had seen, and she's like, hey, I'm like she was like, oh, it was a pleasure, you know, knowing you all, but like, I'm not working there anymore. And I was like, see, it's probably a good thing I didn't go back, because had I continued to go there, I would have put the entirety of my trust into this woman, and then she would have been gone, and I would have had to either give up or start all over with somebody new, which is not something I wanted to do. Okay, come on, move down. I realize it's been a half hour, but I'm still talking, so let's see. So I never got to see my psychologist because when I tried to make another appointment with him, he was just kind of like gone, so I never met him. And he's like always got a full schedule, or he's on sabbatical, so. And I haven't gone back to do another therapy appointment with somebody else because I realized afterwards that I've just been spent too long taking care of myself and dealing with everything on my own, that I feel like all I really need is a little help to help balance out my mind so that it doesn't take as big a toll on me. And I think a good thing, really something I really need, is something to help give me more energy, which I know that sometimes antidepressants do, is they give you more energy, which is why there's always a suicide warning, which is terrible, but it's a fact that the whole reason that antidepressants come with like thoughts of suicides of warning is because they're supposed to give you more energy. So if you were already suicidal, you typically have the energy to actually get up and do it, which is awful. But you know, if you're getting the help you need, you know, hopefully you think, you know, hopefully things, the energy, you use that energy to do something else, like, you know, actually find things that'll get your mind off of whatever's going on, or, you know, make you happy, and so you don't have to think about doing things like that. But so I really wanted to help. So I really wanted to help balance out my mind, and I feel like just having the placebo effect of thinking that I have something under my control because I'm doing something to help. Like, I am actually taking things into my hands, and this is what I'm doing. And I feel like doing that would be a great help to me, because I'll know that I'm working towards something. Because I made an effort, and I will have... The hope is that I will have the proof in the amount of energy that I have. Like, I'll have more energy to get up and do things, you know. Maybe I wouldn't procrastinate so much. I wouldn't be so tired all the time, and that's something I really would like to look forward to. But what's sad is I noticed that whenever I'm in one of these downfall times, I just can't. Like, it's those times where I look for help a lot less, because it's just me being in a situation again where I've been in thousands of times where I help myself because I don't have people who really support me or made me feel validated in what I was feeling. So I was like, okay, you gotta take care of yourself. You're not stupid. Yeah, so I talk to myself and be like, it's fine, they're gonna do whatever they want. You can't force people. And, but you know that you're not crazy and that you're not stupid, and this is how you feel, and you can't be fucking helped. So I had to take care of myself. I had to pull myself out of, pretty deep depressive states, and, so I'm like, my biggest help is just me. And I would say, I've done a lot to help myself, and the fact that I know that I basically have the strength to keep carrying on. I'm just so tired. Like, it gets harder every time, because it's like, why? Because it's not even just me sometimes. It's not even just me being depressed. It's like, things are actually happening. Like, people are actually still treating me terribly and acting like assholes. So it's just like streams of bad luck, and surrounding myself with people who I thought cared but don't really care enough to not damage me, to not continue to damage more than they've already done, because these are the same people who have spent the last 6 years around. I have not been paying attention to these drawings, so what I will probably end up doing is looking up the lore for all of these. I consider myself a completionist when it comes to playing games, but I feel like the controls on this are a little wonky for me to really want to stay in one place more than I need to, or to explore more than just getting to the next area. Because, I mean, to swim I have to hold down R2, and then to like swim at a decent pace I have to keep pressing X, and as I said earlier, I am 40% of my life is just random pain, and that means that my joints are always hurting from doing little things. I remember there was this game that my boyfriend bought for us to play, but it was in order to move, the characters had to jump. Like, they jump from one spot to the next. That was the only way to move. It was like a rhythm game. So that meant that you had to keep pressing X, like, over and over and over. That was the entirety of the game. You just press X, 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 X. And I hurt my thumb. I was in a lot of pain. My thumb really, really hurt. And it was awful. like to the point where I told him I feel really bad about this, but I have to stop playing because I am in an enormous amount of pain. And it was honestly to the point where I had to stop playing, and I had to like let my arm rest, like my entire arm, not even just my hand or my thumb, like it was my arm, because the pain was just so great that it was just like I cannot do anything. And I was like in an enormous amount of pain for like 2 hours, for like an hour or two. It was terrible. So having to do tedious things like keeping my finger bent and continuously pressing a button over and over for the majority of whatever's going on is just not good for me. I actually have like arthritis that runs in my family, and I went to the doctor once because I was like, I'm 21. I'm 21 now, but when I went to the doctor I was like 19, 20, and I was like, I am too young to be having these aches and pains the way that I am. You know, I don't believe it's all depression just making me weak and tired and all that. So, oh, that's where they went. Okay, well now I understand. And he was like, my mom already knew, because she has lupus, and she already knew the way the doctors would probably react, which is basically just like, oh no, you're probably just, you're not eating right, you're not dieting correctly, stuff like that. And it was like, even if I wasn't, I'm still probably too fucking young to be dealing with the amount of pain, the amount of random physical pain that I get. But so I had to push for it, and basically all he told me was like, okay, well, if anything abnormal comes up in your results, we'll let you know. Like, I'll call you, I'll let you know. And I have the app, which means that they send me the results in an email to let me know that they're ready to be looked at, and which means I can look at them myself and basically decipher what I need to decipher. I look up the numbers and the test, and it tells me if I'm like in the normal range or not. And everything looked fine, but also I feel like more should have been done to investigate why I'm always in so much pain. Basically, and I haven't been back to see him. Like, after that, I wasn't super fond of my doctor, and I haven't been back to see him. And after that incident, I called to switch primary care doctors, and I got myself a female doctor, which I really I haven't met yet, but I was finally able to set up an appointment. And I really hope she's a lot nicer and more understanding of anything that I ask of her, and maybe we can look into this again, because I think it's just ridiculous that I'm 21 years old and I'm in the amount of pain that I'm in half the time. These are different whales. Okay. That's kind of awesome. think I'm getting left behind now. Alrighty. Anyway, so I finally have a doctor's appointment with her on... Oops. That seems dangerous. Goblin shark. Anyways, can you die in this game? Why do these blink the way they do? Oh, yes. Yes. I see. Okay, so it was like I thought. Stay away if I can. Let's go. Here we go. Anyways, it's like the weirdest thing. It's not weird actually, but whenever I'm in a bad shit. I get it. Whenever I'm in a really bad depressive state is when I'm just kind of like, you've dealt with this before, you know, you'll get through it again. You know, you can do it all on your own, because that's all you've ever done, is deal with it on your own. You've done it before, you can do it again. So, you know, I pull myself through it again, even though I've been telling myself that I'm tired of having to do it alone. But, it's still what happens. And then it's like after I've already pulled myself out that I'm like, okay, now that I have energy, you know, and now I can go and I can talk to a therapist and I can do all these things. Shit. I don't know what sort of consequences that actually holds, but yeah. Oh. Whew, okay. And there's a second one. Gotcha. So that's actually, I had just pulled myself out of a depressive state when I was finally setting up that therapist appointment the first time. And okay, just, you know, keep swimming. I already did that one. Which is why I was able to even do that one. Which is why I was able to even set that up, but then like I went to the appointment and my next appointment wouldn't have been the following therapist appointment, and when the psychiatrist appointment was supposed to be wasn't going to be for another month. Like, what was I supposed to do in the meantime? Like, yeah, I was thinking, okay, it's not going to be too bad, but you know, then time came and I kind of like, I wasn't able to, which meant that I was spending too much time on my own without any real help. And I had again depleted into a state where I was just like, I'll get it done myself. like, I might as well just get it done myself and stop hoping that other people are gonna be able to help me, because I have come this far in life with no help from basically anyone. Okay, I gotta follow this one here. Oh, I see. Oops. It seems like it's mostly just supposed to be annoying. Yeah, so that's how that goes usually. And then for some reason I started opening up to my mom a little bit more about it, which means that I opened the door to her worrying about me, which is something that I was always trying to avoid doing, because I know how bad things get for me, and I know how she's dealt with things before and how she's still dealing with things, and I let her in to know that I am not okay, and so now she bugs me all the time about shit. And now she's always bugging me about setting up an appointment, and I just keep telling her, well, I don't have the money and I don't have a means of transport anymore. And she says, well, you can take the bus and I'll give you the money. And I just tell her, no, I don't think so. So that's how that's been going. Pretty baby. Anyways, quick recap because I should get off. Yes, I want to go back to a therapist, but I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want the medication at this point. I can help myself. I just need a little extra help with imbalance and energy. Imbalance and energy, and imbalance and energy. And yes, I want to get a job, but I want to get the one I would like to get a job at the nature center, because I feel like it's the only thing that will help me at this point, the only thing I am willing to do with that won't continue to add to stress and being overwhelmed. And my only concern with that now is that it's like 2 whole bus rides away from where I live, and I can't take the car to get there, and the whole point of it was to not add stress. So if I have to take 2 buses just to get there, it's kind of ridiculous, and it would continue to add stress, because then that means I already struggle with finding change. Hold on. Discovered those that lurk in the abyss. Cool. I already struggle with finding change just to get to fucking class in the morning. So I don't need to be struggling to find change to get to class in the morning and to get to this new job, should I even, get lucky enough that they're hiring and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll hire you. So yeah, cause I'm not gonna be taking the car from my boyfriend just so that I can get a job or get to this new job when he already has a stable job and he needs the car to get there. I don't see the point in doing that. I had the car for a while and that was just to get to school, and that was only because he had a company car at that job and now he doesn't, so he needs the car and I'm not gonna like take it from him. I think that's ridiculous. So yeah, I think something I want to do for myself is there's this like art box thing, kind of like Loot Crate. They send you like art supplies every month, and I think it'd be really neat. First off, art, I want it, and second, I thought it would be really neat if I came up with a bunch of like sketches or ideas to you know, use whatever came in the box that month for, and make a video about it, you know, kind of just talking about the different supplies, and at the same time expanding my art supplies and my creativity and coming up with new things to do, and just creating more because I at that point have the means. Like, I have new art supplies coming in, I have things that I probably would be interested in, but I wouldn't spend my money on. I wouldn't spend my own money on because I'm afraid that it wouldn't work out in the end. But if they're random selected items, you know, then it's no big deal, and you know, I can try things out and figure out what I like and what I don't like, or what I could do with something. And I would really, really enjoy that. So that's something that I want to do once I get a job. Anyways, let's just finish this here, and then then I'll get off, because I've done my recap, and I really need to sleep, because my class is at 9:30 in the morning, which and I have to get up by like 7:30 in order to get ready, catch my bus on time, and then still go buy a testing pamphlet for the test. So, and it is currently 2:41. Ooh, giant squid. Okay. Oops. Hope that didn't bother that. I will say I think I'm very proud of myself for the stream, because I managed to actually talk throughout the entire thing, whether it be about nonsense or whatever. I was talking, and that is my main goal, is to just kind of talk. And I'm happy I was able to do that, because I don't think I've been able to do that before. You know, just short of having other people around me, but I mean, even then I fall silent, and this time I was talking the entire time, and I think that's really good for me on many levels, for many reasons. So let's go to the main menu, because we're done here. Yeah. Main menu because we're done. And I'm dead tired. And tomorrow's my last day of class. Beautiful. Alright. Let's stop the broadcasting. Alright then. Like I said, I think I was successful in what I'm trying to do today. Now I'm gonna go to sleep and fail my final in the morning. But that's just me because I am bad at games and I'm bad at life. Good night. Or good... Nope, I'm not gonna say that because I don't consider it the next morning until 4 o'clock. I'm almost there, but it's not there, so good night.